Hello everyone, Rika here, and welcome to Picking Up the Platinums Episode 2 with Dark Cloud. Now, this is a game that I played a lot when I was a kid. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't wear out the disc, especially with how bad a condition I got the disc in to begin with, because my dad picked it up for me at a pawn shop, and the disc is scratched to all hell. But I was able to play through the entire thing on that disc, but this is the PS4 version of the game. It's a port. They didn't do any bug fixes from what I gather. I still noticed a few like typos and things in the dialogue, so I'm guessing that they probably just ported the game as is and didn't really do any fixes to it, which is fine because the game, you can play through it, no problem. There is one thing I've heard about with this game that some people were upset about, and that is, I guess you can't get the backroom item in the final area, the Gallery of Time, but I don't find that to be too big of an issue, especially since there are tons of great places to grind if you need to. I found one in the second dungeon on the 10th floor. The back room there has nothing but werewolves, and it's a great place to level up weapons or to grind out extra weapons to break down into little synth spheres for your weapons. But let's talk about what this game is. So this is an action RPG with dungeon crawling and town building elements to it. So the fun thing about the RPG portion of the game is that your character isn't really the one leveling up. Your weapons are. Now, you can make improvements to your characters. You can upgrade their health, their thirst meter, and their defense. But all of your attack, all of your elemental typings, all of your creature typings, those things go onto your weapons. So if you have a dagger, which is what you start off with, you can attach things to it to make it good against beast type enemies. You can add ice to it to give it an ice attribute if you want to use it against things that are weak against ice. So you can really make your weapon whatever you want with the right attachments and the right level ups, and eventually, once you've reached certain requirements, your weapon will level up. This game also has quick time events, which I'm showing off right here. I actually got all the button presses perfect for this specific fight here. If you do that, you get rewarded with a special gemstone that you can attach to your weapons. Now, gemstones are the most important attachments. They do so much for your weapon. They will do multiple things as to where most attachments do one thing. So let's say you have a Beast Buster. The Beast Buster gives you 3 points on your weapon for like beast affinity, where your weapon does better against beast type enemies. But something like a Garnet will also give you something like I think I have it written down. So the Garnet will give you an attack boost, a fire boost, a boost against rock type enemies, and a boost against beast type enemies. So you really want to get excellent in all of those quick time events if you can. You know, just a thing. There are some miscellaneous trophies in here that are RNG related. There's one where you need to get a weapon that has the thief or steal ability to it, and that is completely RNG because there's no place in which you can actually buy those weapons because I looked in every store, could not find the bandit slingshot, or I think it's the bandit bangle for Ruby. The other RNG related trophies are the fishing trophies, but if you catch this guy right here, the Baron Garyon, you will get both, because the smallest one I caught of him was 157, I think is what that said. And that would have gotten me both trophies if I hadn't already gotten the 100 centimeter fish trophy already, because you have to catch the Baron Garyon and you have to catch a fish that is at least 100 centimeters. So, yeah, I was able to get those pretty easily, no problem. The Marden Garyon actually wasn't too bad to get either. I got a couple of those too. They're a little easier than the Baron, I don't know. Because they only like poisonous apples. No other fish like poisonous apples. So if you get a fish that likes poisonous apples, you will easily catch those. The Baron, on the other hand, likes potato cakes, and other fish like potato cakes. So there is a little testing involved on how to do those. But I will probably do a video later doing tips and tricks on this for new players. So if people want to come in, get this platinum, and they're not quite sure how to do all this stuff, I will put up some tips and tricks on how to get those. These fish unlock a cool sword too, but the only problem is to level up that sword for Tone, you actually have to catch, I think, up to like 40 of these guys, so it's a time sink or a money sink, because if you don't have a bunch of poisonous apples or potato cakes, then, you know, you're not going to level those up. In fact, I didn't level up mine. The only reason I get the sword is the sword helps you with treasure chests. There are certain treasure chests in the dungeons that are trapped. If you have the sword, the treasure chest won't be hard to open, because it'll tell you what trap to choose, because it gives you a choice of 3 different traps, and you have to choose. And normally you have to just guess or have a treasure chest key. But treasure chest keys are hard to come by, and they're worth 400 gold if you sell them, so they're much more worth it to sell them than to keep them. So it's easier just to catch these fish and get the sword, because the sword does cost you 2,500 fish points, but with how many points you get from catching the Baron and the Marden, like if you just catch a bunch of those, you're gonna be fine. So I highly recommend doing this platinum, especially if this was a game that you played as a kid. It's a fun one, and it's well worth a revisit in my opinion. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. And until then, just remember, everything blue is awesome. Rika signing out.